Hey everyone, we are Mike and Tess Play, and welcome back to Pokemon Fire Red version.
Last time we set up the search to find
the legendary Raikou!
Yes.
Alright, so we have now encountered Raikou. This is, I'm going to be honest here, not the first time we've encountered him. It is the second. Why? Because it's
been a week and a half.
I mean, yes, because it took me that long to find him. Here's the deal with the roaming legendary Pokemon in FireRed and LeafGreen. When you have beaten the Team Rocket side quest and, you know, or the post-game quest, really, and fixed Celio's computer, you have access to one of the three legendary... They don't have a technical, like a technically correct term. Many people refer to them as the legendary beasts. I always called them the legendary dogs, so that's what I'm sticking with. One of the three legendary dogs will now be roaming in Kanto. They will only appear in grass, but there is no way to know where they are before you encounter them. Absolutely none. This makes catching them, finding them, really, for the first time, rather difficult.
He spent many days on this.
Many days.
Many hours.
Yes. So,
complaining that he had never had worse luck in his entire life.
It's very true. Mathematically, I used like
pacing around the apartment
hundreds of max repels.
With I don't even know, what were you playing this on, a DS?
Yeah.
Yeah, pacing around the apartment, shouting at the top of his lungs, "I should have found it! How many?" Like, I should have seen him 15 times by now.
Yeah, by mathematical odds, there's about a 1 in 22 chance that whatever route you're in, he will appear in, and he changed it. The legendary will change the route that they're in every time you either go to a new route or go in and out of a building.
So we hope you have better luck than us.
We really do. That's why, after an hour of searching, I gave up on having the first encounter be on screen. But I'm going to show you the most efficient methods after this, but when we're actually hunting him again, because this legendary Pokemon is not going to be sticking around for this battle. Now, Zapdos up front here is level 50, which means he can repel any Pokemon that is in the route, but will not repel the level 50 Raikou. Very convenient. I've also equipped the Quick Claw to him in hopes of outspeeding this Raikou and Thunder Waving it. And it worked on the first try. I am very happy about that, because I'm pretty sure the Raikou's faster, because the Raikou fled. The legendary Pokemon will flee upon the first turn of battle. Nothing you can do about it. Unless you outspeed them, they will flee before you can even attack. Now that I've paralyzed them, that won't really be hard. But once they have done so, once you have one appearance, you can go back into the Pokedex, scroll all the way down because
you can't scroll up to scroll down.
Yeah, which is frustrating.
Yes.
And then, if you hit A, you actually see the area they're in now. As you can see, Raikou has now jumped to Route 25, which is close. Very close. It's why Cerulean City is my pick for the easiest place to encounter the legendary dogs in, because it is surrounded by routes that only have a small patch of grass, and it's very easy to run into them. Now, since we have entered Cerulean City, he'll be moved again. Now he's...
down.
What is that?
I don't know.
9? I think that's Route 9. Yes, that's Route 9.
I would need a map and a scroll and a cursor and some numbers.
Yes.
Yes.
So in order to hunt him effectively, I'm going to choose a different direction. I'm going to choose up to Route 24. Now, he could have gone here. He could have gone to another route nearby. He can go to any adjacent route. He can just randomly warp around the map, although that usually only happens when you use Fly, and we happen to pick the right route. So, we now know that, hey, if we go into the grass, we still have our max repel up. The only encounter we can get is Raikou.
Amazing.
It's awesome. Now, for the legendary dogs, first I'm going to be covering the kind of how-to, which this is how to. Get somebody fast enough to inflict sleep or paralysis, hopefully paralysis on them. Because any damage you do, any status condition you give them, they will keep until the next battle. Actually, I'm going to change routes now because I know he's not in this route since he just fled. This spot right here, between routes 25 and 24, is very easy to go back and forth between. You can see that you're just right there. Whoops, I can't tell I keep doing that. You can see that it's right there. It's a very easy route transition. Both routes only have one patch of grass because, yes, the dog only shows up in a random patch of grass, and you can't control that.
I think you went the wrong way.
He did.
No,
yeah.
you went the wrong way.
I went the wrong way?
Yeah.
I was just taking a shot at it. Usually it does take some doing. But where was it? Yeah. So the easiest way is between those two routes, you have two chances. Every single time you take a few steps in either direction, you have a chance that the legendary is going to show up in the route you're in. There are other places for this. I actually got frustrated with this particular place and used one of the other best ones. And I will show you which one that is in 1 second here because he is not moved. He actually moved since I moved from a route to a town. Another great place is Celadon City because, well, right next to Celadon City, you have Route 7, which has one patch of grass and is a very small route. I keep going to the wrong thing. And on the other side of Celadon City is another route with just one small patch of grass. You need cut to get through it, but that's still accessible. So as you can see, Raikou is nowhere near where we are right now. Actually, he's not too far, because we are in... It's kind of hard to describe it. Where he is
He's
right
at the bottom
now,
of the bike path.
Yes.
He's at the bottom of the hill.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. And we are currently to the right of the town at the top of the bike path. So we could also use this building because this counts as a separate area. So now that we've exited it, he will be in a different route. This is actually the method that I used to encounter him for the first time because I just got tired of going back and forth between 24 and 25 and him not showing up. Because there's no way to track him beforehand, and now he's a low fuchsia frustration station.
I think you should just fly to Fuchsia.
Okay, I will.
Or don't.
It doesn't matter, he's too far away. He's outside of like the immediate range. So flying to Fuchsia means he's gonna go further than one route over.
Why?
Fly, for whatever reason, kind of resets that part of the map. So now he'll be moved somewhere else.
Then why did you follow my advice?
Well, because he wasn't where we wanted him anyway.
Fair.
So yeah, now he's...
So that's where we were!
Oh no, that's up by Cerulean. We're nowhere near that. So it becomes a game of patience and persistence. Finding whatever method works best for you. If you just like picking a main town with a bunch of things near it, that's my recommendation. If you just want to stick to the same one route because you like the route's music or something, I don't know. Whatever you choose to do to hunt the legendary is going to be the best call. I just prefer up here because it's two routes with very small patches of grass that you can just go hunting in, basically. It's also very easy to transition between them without running into any grass, and therefore you can save your max repels or super repels or regular repels until right before you're going to run into them. So that's just kind of how I like to do it. So we may not catch Raikou in this because you only get the one turn. If your ball does not catch, that's it. He's running. So we may not actually catch him. We're just showing off the best methods with which you can catch the dogs. But there is more to go over here. So before we even talk about the legendary Pokemon themselves, which I'm going to do in just a moment, the one thing that you may note is that there are certain moves and abilities that prevent escape. Shadow Tag being an obvious one, and the move Block being another option that just prevents a Pokemon from running. This is a great idea if the legendary dog that you have in your game is Suicune. It is a game-breaking idea if you have Raikou or Entei. Here's why. The legendary dogs have different movesets, but Raikou and Entei both learn Roar by this level in the game, which means that if you trap them, there is a 1 in 4 chance every single turn that they're going to use Roar. If they use Roar, they're gone. They did not flee from the battle, they sent you from the battle, and that counts just the same as if you KO'd them or just died to them. So they will stop appearing. There's no way to get them back. So definitely don't do that, which is why I'm going with the paralyze, do little chip damage, and then hope, basically. Because, well, I don't want to never be able to catch this Raikou.
Fair.
You know.
That'd be devastating.
That would be devastating.
Absolutely devastating.
And it has happened to people. So, yeah, definitely not worth it. Now, why is it worth it to go through all this effort, all this time just to catch one silly Pokemon?
Don't call it silly.
Is it because it's a legendary?
Yes.
And it's a big old pupper?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a purple floof.
It is a...
I don't know what I was going to say.
He does have a purple floof.
I was going to call him a Floofler, and I don't know why. That's what was coming out.
That is Raikou's new official description. Ploufler Pokemon.
He's a Ploufler.
He's a big Ploufler Pokemon. And he's nowhere near us. Here, do you want to try it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I got to watch for a week while you did this without me watching.
It is much easier when you actually have their Pokedex thing, because that lets you track them way easier. Rather than just, I hope it's here now.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just running through a patch of grass with a max repel up for... You always want to give it a little bit, because they don't show up right away, but once you hit every patch... like every individual tile in the grass patch 2 to 3 times, I generally suggest just giving up then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me take another stab at this. Let me just switch to a different route. We got lucky with Route 4 before. Let me take a shot there.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I hiccuped.
It's okay. So, while I'm continuing to just search for this Raikou, let's go over the 3 of them. At least a little bit. We're not giving them official ratings. These were the only ones who I actually really considered going over. But, they just barely miss out on that. Tess is now in control, by the way, in case it was not obvious, because I'm going to be talking about things. That is the item finder, yes.
Whoa.
That's
How do I get out of this?
Tess is now going wild. I'm just going to start talking about the legendary Pokemon. Now, like I said, it's different depending on your game. It depends on your starter.
Where's
you
the
will
map?
have... It's in the Pokedex.
How do I get to there?
It's the top, that one. And then national mode. Yeah. There you go.
No, I want a map.
Oh, a real map.
Yeah.
Okay, that's in the bag.
Ah. Alright, you can go. I'll do this.
Key items. It's over. And then the town map.
Got it. Thank you.
There you go. So, if you started with Squirtle, like we did, you get the dog who's strong against you, Raikou. Raikou is a pure electric type Pokemon who's they're all really good. They're all legendary Pokemon. He's fast, he's got great special stats, good attack and HP, he's got some coverage options, he can set up a sweep if you want him to. He's also HM friendly, which all the dogs are. It makes no sense, but they are. So he is a really good Pokemon. I would argue that he's not the best electric Pokemon in the game because Zapdos exists, but he is still a really good one. I know that in certain games he's even been the speedrunning choice before. So, you know, if you hold right, it skips a whole page. like.
Ah, that's how you're...
Yeah, that's how I was doing it fast. So he is a really good, Raikou is a really solid option. If you're still looking for coverage or something, he's really good. He's worth the effort, basically. Entei, who we are going to throw a picture up of Entei on screen at this moment, so you know, so that you can actually see what he looks like. He's the fire-type dog. He will appear if you picked Bulbasaur way back at the beginning of the game. Entei is a little bit weird in that he is a physical attacker in the generation, well, at this point in the generation before fire moves could be physical. So he's got a little bit less going for him. But he is fast, he's got great attack and HP, he's very solid that way. And he's got good enough coverage, he's basically just fire moves and dig, and normal moves which actually get the boost. He's actually a really good user of Hyper Beam, believe it or not, but it works for him. And I would honestly say that in terms of fire types, he and Moltres are both in that weird, they're really good Pokemon, but are they better than Charizard? Category. So again, if you're still looking for a fire type, could be great to have Entei at this point. The real prize though is for the Charmander trainers, Suicune, whose image we will now throw up on screen. Suicune is, for a while, including this generation, but for a while, Suicune became the bulky water type. It's a whole category, and Suicune was the absolute master of it. Blastoise is also technically a member of this category. In-game, he's a little bit different in that, oh, he's right above it. In-game is a little bit different. Blastoise's diversity helps him out, but even with that, I would say that Suicune, if you wanted to use him, if he had come just a little bit sooner, maybe even just post-Elite Four, but before the post-game quest, Suicune would probably be the best water type in the game. He's that good. He's simple. He's very simple. He's basically set up Calm Mind, which he can learn, and then sweep with water and ice moves. But that's enough. That's really all he needs. So if you started with Charmander and maybe you just haven't found a water type that is what you're looking for yet, I can super strongly recommend putting through the effort and actually, well, catching Suicune. It is worthwhile if you still need one. So they're all really good Pokemon. Obviously, they're legendary Pokemon, but they all do have certain flaws in a way. And the biggest flaw is that they're only available so late in the game. So that's why they're not getting a rating. I just wanted to talk about kind of the benefits of them, but that's why they didn't get rated, because they just appear too late in the game. You can't, for example, catch one and then go straight to the revamped Elite Four with it. So that's if they could do that, they'd be getting ratings. Raikou 9, Entei 9, Suicune 10. What? I didn't say anything. That was a weird cough. Anyway, it seems as though Raikou's not being friendly. Is he in this route?
It's me. He might be. Here you go.
Let's find out. It seems as though he's not being cooperative, which does not surprise me because so many hours that it took to encounter him the first time.
Yeah. That's where I am, right?
No, you're above the town. He's below the town.
I don't understand the map.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't get it.
You learn to.
I don't get it.
It's a learned skill. I was actually when the roaming legendaries first started in Gold, Silver, Crystal, I was actually the first one among my little friend group to figure them out, which meant that I had to do it for every single one of my friends.
Yes.
Because that's how 8-year-olds worked, and 9-year-olds. We were 9 at the time, and yeah. So I'm quite familiar with the doggos.
I vote we give up on this quest.
Oh, we're going to. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay,
if he's not here in this route, we've kind of shown how it is. It's basically just encounter them, try to get a status condition on there.
Also, you learn to hold right.
You do learn to hold right. Yeah, he's nowhere near us. He is now at the Route 11 to the right of Vermilion City.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So that is the basic route, and I'm going to point this out. Another really great option is just chuck the Master Ball at them.
Why haven't we done that?
Because
I get it. Save it for shinies. Save it for things you'll never catch again. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Blah, blah, blah.
The dogs are not things you can't possibly catch if something happens. Like, for example, if you run into a shiny Graveler, and it is at a level at which it can learn self-destruct, and you try to catch it, and it uses self-destruct, and you have now lost a shiny, you will regret not having a Master Ball to throw at it. That's why I hang on
Why
to my
would you
Master
waste it on a Graveler?
Because it's shiny. Have you ever seen Shiny Graveler? He's gold. He's amazing. I love him. What was my point though? I don't remember. The dogs are a measure of persistence and patience. So if you have a lot of that, it's worth going after them. If you don't, your team is fine.
Yes.
And that's going to do it for our coverage on the legendary dogs.
So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time for more post-game of Pokemon Fire Red version.
We go battle.